In chapter 8, the key shloka is shloka number 6. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam jajatyante kalevaram tam tame vaiti kaunteya sada tadbhava bhavitaha. What he says here is, at the time of death, we should remember Bhagavan. Because that particular thought determines our next birth. If we, before our death, suppose we have worldly desires, any of the desires, then to fulfill that desire, we will have another birth to fulfill that desire. So that is very important that 24/7 we should remember Bhagavan. That he says in the 22nd sloka, Ananya Bhakti. Ananya Bhakti means we should have ever remembering the Bhagavan all the time, 24/7, throughout the time. Last class we discussed that Ananya Bhakti is the ultimate Bhakti. Originally, we have the Bhakti has been divided into 3 parts. First part is the Bhaktan or the devotee, then Bhagavan is there, and third, what we want to achieve from the world. So we use Bhagavan as a tool, as an instrument to get what we want. That is an inferior Bhakti. But to start with, that Bhakti is very good to start with. We go to the temple, we pray to Bhagavan that I want this to be achieved. Any material demands. Second Bhakti division is, there are only 2, myself and Bhagavan, Bhaktan and Bhagavan. So here what happens is, I want only Bhagavan. Even though Bhagavan is separate, I am separate, there's a division. But my goal is Bhagavan. So I would like to know what is Bhagavan, who is Bhagavan. That is Bhagavat Jnanam I should have. So that is the second division. And the third division is, myself and Bhagavan, we are one and the same. Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi. There is no separation. Aikyam. Mahavakyam is called Aikyam. Jiva Brahma Aikyam. So there is no desires at all. I am a complete man, Purna Purushan. So I am a liberated person. So this should be our goal throughout our life. Getting liberation from this world is our goal, not achieving any material benefits. In shloka number 15 to 22, what we discussed was, because Arjuna asked what is Param, what is Brahma? And then he went on explaining what is Brahman. First he said, the worldly objects are there. Jagat is there, worldly objects. They are all gross objects. It is, we can perceive it with our eyes, or we can hear it from our ears, or we can smell it through our nose. We can taste it through our mouth, and we can touch it by our skin. So these are all gross. Gross we can perceive. And that is called in Sanskrit, in the shloka, Vyaktam. Vyaktam means it is manifested already in a gross form for us to enjoy. Vyaktam. The second is Maya. Maya means due to the delusion, it has not come. It is in a subtle form. Maya is in a subtle form. Subtle means Sushma, very sensitive, highly sensitive, which you cannot perceive it through your sense organs. Eyes cannot see, ears cannot listen, all these things. For example, take your mind. Nobody can see others' mind because it is subtle. That is called Sukshma. That is called Avyaktam. It has not, I mean, we cannot perceive any outside objects through our sense organs. And that is because of Maya. So Maya has that capacity to conceal things or cover things in subtlest form. During our sleep, what happens is all our activities, waking activities, are resolved in Maya. If they are resolved in Maya, then it is not visible. That is called Avyaktam. But here what happens is when you wake up from sleep, all what you have stored in sleep, that comes out as a gross form. So Vyaktam, it has become Vyaktam. So Vyaktam, Avyaktam, manifest, unmanifest. So it is an unmanifested state. In the case of Brahman, it is Pralayam. That is everything, all the whole world, whatever objects are there, they are resolved in Brahman. And when Brahma gets up, we have seen Brahma's duration of life. He has got 1,000 Chatur Yugas. And the Chatur Yuga is 43 lakhs, 20,000 years. One day. Similarly, he has got one night also of the same duration. At that time, that is when he sleeps, it is called Pralayam. So in the Pralayam, all the objects of the world fold itself into Brahman. And when Brahman wakes up, daytime, all this world again comes back. So that means this Maya-based Avyaktam cannot gain moksham or liberation to any of the people. Then Bhagavan says, beyond this, there is one more Avyaktam. That he calls it as Aksharam, or Purusha, or Brahma, or Param Brahma. So that is the superior. And there what happens is, the specialty is, that is also not visible. It is unmanifested condition. That is why it's called Avyaktam. But the benefit in achieving that Brahman, that you will not have any Punarjanmam. I mean, you will not come back. So when you reach that particular, you will not come back. So this means our goal should be that Avyaktam, not the Avyaktam what based on Maya. That's called the point of no return. That means once you reach that stage, if I have Brahma Jnanam, Brahma Vidya, then I am totally liberated. I am a Moksha Purusha. I do not have any more rebirth. That cycle of birth and death, it is not there. So that is Avyaktam based on Brahma Jnanam. This should be our goal, all the goals of all the people. So this is what was discussed between sloka number 15 to 22. In 22, he also gave a method how to get this Param Brahma Aksharam Brahma. He says Ananya Bhakti. So Ananya Bhakti means absolutely no division in that Bhakti. Fully focused Bhakti, concentrated Bhakti. Only Bhagavan is there, nothing else is there. Everything has come out from Bhagavan. Like, the waves in the ocean. The waves are nothing but water. But it is on the surface. Because of the wind, it is created. But the base of that is water. There is no movement at the bottom. And ocean is always full. The rains and all that, when the rivers go and merge with the ocean, the ocean is not rising up. So it can take everything, all shocks, all incoming waters and all that from the rivers, whatever it is, the quality of the water, everything can be absorbed by the ocean. So that is, we also should have that expansion of our mind. That the mind should be, now our minds are narrow, constricted. It should expand. So that is the goal we should have. So everybody should have a goal. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Now this Dharma, Artha, Kama, these three, they are finite goals. And Moksha means infinite goal. So Dharma, Artha, Kama, that is we should live a life of Dharma, Dharmic method, and earn our living by Dharmic method, not by corruption, not by forgery, not by stealing, but it should be a righteous earning. So Dharma, Artha, Kama, but they are all finite. After some time it will go. Whereas we should reach that infinite goal of moksha. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Purushartha, moksha. Now, Bhagavan is talking about 4 types of people. The 4 types of people are, one is an abhakta. He has no belief in God. He does not believe there is a God or something or a superpower. He is abhakta. We are not talking about abhakta here. What will happen to him after his death, that is discussed in chapter number 16. But here we are not talking about that abhakta. The second category is Sakama Bhakta. Sakama Bhakta means, as I told you, the first division of Bhakti, that Bhagavan is there, you are there, Bhaktan is there, and the goal you want to achieve. So that is called Sakama Bhakta. That means I am using Bhagavan as a tool, and then I want to get whatever is my requirements, I get it through him. Sakama Bhakta. That is discussed in our sloka here, in this chapter. What happened to him after his death? He lives a dharmic life. He does puja, he does homa, he does all sorts of whatever is prescribed in the karma kanda, he resorts to that one. Like Trikala, Santya, all that, he follows everything. But he is a Sakama Bhakta. But he has not got for this one, Sakama Bhakta. The third one is Nishkama Bhakta. Nishkama means he does not want anything from the world. Worldly life, he does not want anything. He wants only Bhagavan. That is why it's called a Nishkama Bhakta. In Nishkama Bhakta, there are 2 types. One is Sakuna Upasaka or Nishkama Upasaka. Nirguna Upasaka. Saguna Upasaka means I worship as a god, as Rama, Krishna, Shiva, Hanuman, Subramanya, all that. That is Saguna, with gunas. The other is Nirguna. Nirguna means there's no form. But it is very difficult for us to Nirguna Bhaktan, Romba Kashtam, very difficult to get. So we use Saguna Bhakta, use the form, and once you mature yourself from the form, then you will be able to see the subtle, formless Bhagavan. So here we have Nishkama, Saguna, Nishkama, Nirguna, the two types, two of them. And this Nishkama, Saguna or Nirguna Bhakta reaches the highest loka, Brahma Loka. The second one reaches, Sakama Bhakta reaches Surga Loka, because he has done all good things. He has used his body and the speech, like, Parayanam, doing yajnas, homas and all that through body. So he gets the punyam. And with that punyam, he goes to Swargaloka. Whereas in the case of the third category, Nishkama Bhakta, because he wants only Bhagavan, he has no worldly desires. So where will he go? He will go to Brahmaloka. And he will not return. Because once he goes to Brahmaloka, for returning to the human world, he needs desires. He should have some desires to fulfill. Then only he can come back to human life. But there he has no human life. So he gets released. That means he will not get a rebirth in the human world. But he has an opportunity for learning jnanam from Brahma. Because in Brahmaloka, only Brahma is there. And Brahmaloka, everything is, there is no sorrow at all. Everything is pleasant, pleasing items. Everything is giving you sukha, pleasure. It's a pleasure world. But there, if we want to learn Brahmajnanam, then he should have dispassion or vairagyam on that pleasurable objects of Brahmaloka. That is very difficult to get. That is the reason why we should cultivate vairagyam in this human birth. It is very easy to get it here. But there, amongst the various pleasurable objects, to get vairagyam is very, very difficult. But there are people who are upasakas. They are using the mind. The mind is used for dhyanam, upasana. Once he does upasana and with a little bit of vairagyam, he reaches Brahmaloka. In steps, once his mind becomes chitta shuddhi, pure, then he learns the Shravana Manana Nididhyasanam through Brahman, and then he gets liberated. That is called Karma Mukti. In steps, he is getting the Karma Mukti. So we are now talking about that, him also, about in this. Then the last category is a Jnani. Jnani need not, because he has already liberated. So where is the question of here he's achieving anything? He has no desires. So Jnani is also a free man. Now we are talking about what happens to these people when they leave their body. What happens when they leave this world body? That is after death. As I told you, in the case of Abhakta, that he will talk about it on chapter 16. Whereas in the other two cases, Jnani does not worry because he is already Jivan Mukta. But we have two categories in between. One is a Sakama Bhakta, the other is a Nishkama Bhakta. When they die, what happens is, we say Sakama Bhakta goes to Swargaloka and Nishkama Bhakta goes to Brahmaloka. And in the case of Swargaloka, once your punyams are completely exhausted, you have to come back. So that is what he is talking about in sloka number 23. 23 shloka gives that there are two types of bhaktas, there are two types of worlds, and then he said there are two types of routes who are going for him to come back or to stay there. So we are now talking about after death, where these people will go. As far as when we talk about death, people are very scared, because death is, everybody has to die. That is absolutely no escape. Chatasya hi dhruvo murtyuhu, dhruvam janma mritasya cha. So once you are born, you have to die. So that is that sthula shariram, the gross body, will definitely die. But then we have the Sukshma Shariram. That is the one which is traveling to different worlds. That will come back later. So what are the two routes? He is talking about two margas. So now one marga he says is in sloka number 23. Yatra kade tvanavrittim avrittim chaiva yoginaha prayata yanti tam kalam vakshyami bharatashava. Yatra kade tu anavrittim. He has used the word kala. Normally, kala means time. Kalan, Yama, controller of our life. So here, yatra kali means here the kala is not time, but it is the path, the route, margam. On which route people go? One is anavrittim. Anavrittim means non-return. Anavrittim. Yatra kale anavrittim. Avrittim chaiva yoginaha. Avrittim means return. So there are two. One is a non-return, the other is a return. For whom? Prayata yanti tam kalam. Prayata yanti tam kalam means at the time of death. Again, here kalam also is the root. Vakshyami bharatashava. I will teach you the two routes by which the people will go. Avrittim, anavrittim. Anavrittim means non-return. Avrittim means return. Now we go to shloka number 24. The people who go to Brahmaloka, how do they go to Brahmaloka after death? Agnihi Jyoti Ragaha Shuklaha Shanmasa Uttarayanam Tatra Prayata Gachanti Brahmavido Janaha. Agnihi Jyotihi Agaha Shuklaha Shanmasa Uttarayanam. He has given 5 stations, 5 points. And each of these stations are controlled by one devata. You can call it a tourist guide. Tourist guide, they guide you where to go, from where, and all that. So, what are the routes he is talking about? Agnihi. Agni Devata is not about the heat and light. Agni Devata. Then we go to Jyotihi, light, bright path. Then he talks about Ahaha, daytime. The day is divided into two, day and night. 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night. Shukraha, Shukrapaksham. Shukrapaksham means after the Amavasya, that next 15 days is Shuklapaksha, terminating in Paurnami. Then Shanmasa, 6 months of northern journey of sun. That is called Uttarayanam. And Uttarayanam is from mid-January to mid-July. Uttarayanam. Tatra Prayata Gachanti. Who are eligible to go for that route? Tatra prayata gachanti Brahmavido Janaha. Brahmavido Janaha means people who have Brahma Jnanam. Now, who is Brahma? What is Brahma? That knowledge that the people who have heard, that you can get it only through Upasana. Either Saguna Upasana or Nirguna Upasana. So that means we have to do meditation, japa, and establish in our mind that Bhagavan is the only ultimate goal for me. And if that strongly stay in your mind, then your route is this route. Brahmaloka route is Agnihi, Jyotihi, Agaha, Shuklaha, Shanmasa, Uttarayanam. So they will go through this particular route. Route means, as I told you, tourist guide. See, nowadays we have, in the car, we have a GPS. Suppose you want to go from here to, say, Guruvayur or Thrissur, or we want to go to any place where we have not gone at all. So you can put the GPS, the starting point and the ending point, and that GPS will guide you. But here also, because we are talking about nowadays now, but in the previous days, what happened was there were tourist guides at every point. So they will explain to you what is here, what is there, what to see, and all that. Suppose there is a traveler, first time he is traveling by air, say from Chennai to Bombay. So he buys a ticket, he goes to the airport. The first stop for him is at the security gate. They will check your Aadhaar card, they will check your ticket, whether you have got a valid ticket. So that security people can be called Devata. So he allows you inside. You go inside. Afterwards, there again some guides are there. They will tell you which airline you are going. Indigo or SpiceJet or Air India or Vistara. So they will guide you that is the counter where you have to go. So again, Devata. There are some people have got uniforms also. You can easily identify. And then you go to there, then you get the checking done. The baggage are weighed, then hand baggage, and then they give you a boarding pass. That Devata there is over. Then you go to security check, scanning. There they scan you. Also the hand baggage is scanned. Then you go to the boarding area. And in the boarding area, there are people who will guide you what is the gate through which you have to board the flight. So if this is possible in our material world, so in those worlds, because this is what is talked about in Vedas, especially Chandogya Upanishad, they have beautifully described how the prayana of the death, the soul, which is of departed soul, travels. So how he reaches to the Brahmaloka. So if this is in our material world, same concept he has given here. So the first halt is Agni, second halt is Jyoti, third halt is daytime, fourth halt is Shukla Bhaksham, and fifth halt is Krishna Bhaksham, Uttarayanam. So this is for a Upasaka, Nishkama Upasaka. Only he has absolutely no desires. No desires means no ego. No ego means no enjoyment, no activities, no karma, no this thing. So when we can also achieve Nishkama. Today we are full of kamas only. Our devotion time, about 24 hours, maybe 30 minutes or 1 hour, we think of God. The rest of the time we are only fully immersed in the material world. Now the next shloka talks about the other fellow, that is a Saguna Upasaka, not Upasaka, the one who does Omas, Nitya Karmas, Yajnas, and all the rituals, and Parayanam. So that man goes to Surgaloka. What is the route for him? That also Devatas are there. Shloka number 24, 25. Tumo ratris tada Krishnaha Shanmasa Dakshinayana Tatra Chandramasam Jyotihi Yogi Prapya Vivartate. Dhumaha, smoke. Ratrihi, night. Tada Krishnaha, Krishnapakshaha. Shanmasa Dakshinayanam. Tatra Chandramasam Jyotihi Yogi Prapya Nivartate. So this is a route for him. What is the route? Smoke. Everything is covered, not clear at all. So clarity is not there. So that Devata will take him. When the departed soul, he will be under his guide. Then he will drop in the next Devata, that he Ratri, night. The other fellow goes through daytime. Here, Ratri. Then Krishna Paksha. Krishna Paksha is the dark 15 days. That is from the Paurnami to Amavasya. That 15 days. Krishna Paksha. Then again Dakshinayanam. Dakshinayanam is southern travel of the sun. That is from July 15th to January 15th. Dakshinayanam. So he travels in that one. Tatra Chandramasam Jyodihi. The paths are all lighted by moonlight. Yogi, he is also called a yogi because he is a sadhaka. Prapya nivartate. Nivartate means he returns. Why he is returning? His visa has expired. Visa means what? Punyam. If the punyam is not there, he will come back. So especially even in many countries, they give you 30 days visa entry. You stay for 30 days. Before 30 days, you have to leave. Otherwise, they will forcefully take you out of the country. So even here, we have, if you want to get a longer visa, then you will have to do more punyam. Then you can spend more time there. But return is 100% definite. So now it is for us to decide whether we want to get a return ticket or we want to get a one-way ticket only. One-way ticket is to Brahmaloka. Return ticket is Swargaloka and back. People will say in America, you have a 10-year visa, B1, B2 visa. So 10 years you can go. But then every time when you enter there, they give you only a stay of maximum 6 months. And within 6 months, you have to come back. But if you are lucky, you can get a green card during that period. You can extend your stay. Or if you want to stay permanently there, you have to get a citizenship. All these things were there even in the olden days also, which is all detailedly explained in the case of Chandogya Upanishad and Prashnopanishad. Bhagavad Gita is only a summary of Upanishad. So they have extracted whatever is required for the Bhagavad Gita, they have extracted and they have given to us. So this is generally an idea of what happens to the departed soul from the earth. Like Sushma Sharis, we are talking about not gross body. Gross body, once it leaves the consciousness leaves the body, then we are taken to cremation ground and burn the body. We are now talking about the Sushma Shariram. Sushma Shariram travels, but travels to either within the lokas, because we have got 14 lokas. So it can go to any one of the lokas, and again it can come back, or it can go to Brahma Loka, that is the ultimate loka, and from there you get a total release. Now there are two misconceptions in these two slokas. There are a lot of people who misunderstood and misinterpret this sloka. One is kala, the time the time of death. When we say time of death, here he has used the time as Devata, Kala Devata. So it is not the time, whether in what time you die. No. See, for example, in the case of Bhishma, according to the Bhagavatam, he waited for Uttarayana to come because he had his Udana Prana under his control. So he can leave the body at any time he wills. So Udana Prana. We have talked about Udana Prana earlier. So he waited for Uttarayana to come for his departure. Uttarayana, if one dies in Uttarayana period, according to the sloka here, he will reach Brahmaloka. Suppose there is a criminal, hardcore criminal, he has murdered a lot of people, and he also dies during Uttarayana Kala. What happens to him? Will he get Brahmaloka? Or a Jnani, Sringeri, Abhinav Vidyatirtha, he had a Videha Mukti in the month of October. October is Dakshinayana Kala. Uttarayanam and Dakshinayana. And he died in the around 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the night. So again, Ratri. So does it mean that he will go to Surgaloka and come back? This controversy is prevailing. So here the scriptures very clearly says this Kala is not time of departure. What is the quality of life you have led? That determines your final journey, quality of life. Whether you have lived according to dharmic methods, have you followed all the scriptural disciplines, like the Nitya Anushtanangal. So that determines your quality of life. And for that, those people, these two paths are available. These two routes are available. Not for everybody. Because you need a qualification to travel in that route. So one mistaken explanation by a lot of people is, oh, he died in Uttarayana. Oh, night. No, sorry, daytime. And that too in Shuklapaksha. It doesn't make any distinction because these are only, you can call it an interpretation by people who are not following the scriptures. What does the Veda says, Upanishad says? See, like Chandogya Upanishad, Prasna Upanishad, they all explain very clearly that Kala, the time of death, has nothing to do with your journey. Whether you reach this loka or that loka. Suppose there is a abhakta, nor he does not believe in God. He dies in Punya Uttarayana Kala. Will he reach? No. So never have this what you call as wrong notion that the time of death determines our future journey. No. So that is totally dispelled by Shastras. The second is, when somebody dies, what do we say? அவரோட ஆத்மா சாந்தி அடையட்டும் அப்படிம்போம். உயிர் போச்சு அப்படிம்போம். In தமிழில் உயிர் போச்சு. அவர் ஆத்மா சாந்தி அடையட்டும். और वैकुंठ प्राप्ति और कैलास प्राप्ति, कैलास पदத்தை சிவபதத்தை அடைஞ்சார். We are using all these type of language. Actually, what is it which travels? As a gross body, human body, we are traveling because we have a physical limbs available, legs are available, intellect is available, mind is available, then the financial resources are available. So we are able to travel with this body. But this body has been given by Bhagavan for our enjoyment, worldly enjoyment, also for suffering. Both, for both it is given. But the body by itself is inert. It has no life. It has no jnanam. It is like our table. If the table has got jnanam, out of the four legs, one leg will say, I will go here. One leg say, I will go to the opposite direction. So that is not there because it is inert. It has no awareness, no chit, no jnanam. அறிவு தமிழ்ல அறிவில்லை அதனால. So in the body there is no அறிவு. That is why the body can be burned once that அறிவு is gone from the body. So that is the gross body. The other body is subtle body. We have got three sharirams. One is Sukshma Shariram, the other is Karana Shariram, the other is the gross Shariram. We are not talking about the gross body. We are talking about the Sukshma Shariram and Karana Shariram, causal body. Out of that, this Sukshma Shariram has come. They are all subtle, not visible at all. So these two are called mind. So mind can be Sukshma plus Karana Shariram. They are also inert, like the body, gross body. It has no arivu by itself, no consciousness by itself. It is like a stone. It is absolutely no life inside. So that is one part of our jiva. See, we talk about உயிர் போச்சு உயிர்ங்கிறது. Now I'll come back to உயிர். So the three bodies are, one is, the three divisions are, one is the mind, which is inert, which has no knowledge, no arivu, and the second is Atma, which is consciousness, which does not travel, which is all pervading. It is there in all the places. It is only one, Ekam, Nityam, Nirgunaha. So that means Nirakaraha, no changes, no forms. That is Atma. So that is the second Tattvam in us, in the Jiva. When I call Jiva, the Jivaனுக்கு தான் உயிர் போகிறது அப்படிங்கிறோம். So the Jiva வந்து மூணு ஐட்டம். ஒன்று வந்து Atma, which is ever there and it not travel. When it's all pervading, it cannot travel from one place to another place. And the next is the inert material, matter. Now, this mind, which is a Sukshma Shariram, subtle mind, has an ability and capacity to borrow the consciousness from consciousness. It can borrow that arivu, that knowledge, chit, awareness, swarupam. So that it can borrow. Which can borrow? The mind. When the mind borrows that, naturally the mind also becomes active and alive, sentient. So the jiva is nothing but the mind plus the Atma, which is not moving at all, absolutely in one place, full Arivu Swarupam, awareness Swarupam, existence Swarupam, infinite Swarupam, Anantam. But that lends its awareness principle to this mind, and the mind becomes sensitive. As long as that is called reflected consciousness. Reflected consciousness is Chidabhasam in Sanskrit. Chidabhasam. Abhasam means borrowed. Chidabhasam means chit is borrowed. And then that mind becomes active. And that is what we are, ahankaram. So because of that ahankaram, I am doing, I am enjoying, I am acting, I am giving trouble to others. So this mind, which has that sentience capacity borrowed from the Atma. So in Jiva, what happens? Three are there. One is the mind, the other is the reflected consciousness, and the third is consciousness. Consciousness never travels. It is never leaves the body because it is all pervading everywhere there. So what does it leave? The leaving is the mind and the reflected consciousness. The mind and reflected consciousness are leaving this gross body, Stula Shariram. So Stula Shariram becomes inert, and that is why you can burn the body. Now what happened to that Sukshma Shariram, sentient Sukshma Shariram, the mind and the reflected consciousness, that travels. So if I have shadow if I stand in front of sun, a shadow is there. So if I move from this place to another place, shadow will also move. Shadow is not at one common place. No. Wherever I move and the light is against me, it shadows there. So shadow moves. Same thing happens in our human system. We have so many jivas. Every jiva has got these three elements, and one is common, that is Atma. Atma is there in every one of us, but the reflected consciousness depends upon the quality of your mind. It's the subtleness of the mind. In the case of rocks, the sun cannot reflect because it has no capacity to reflect. Like the table, if the sunlight comes on the table, no reflection takes place. But if you put a mirror, reflection takes place. Same thing in our system. So everybody has, when I say jiva, jiva means a three-component situation. One is Atma, which is ever there, it never travels, it is all-pervading. And the second is the mind. The third is the reflected consciousness. So the reflected consciousness and the mind only travels from loka to loka, different lokas. And you get a different loka according to your balance of punya papa account. If you have got more punyam, you may get a better loka. Like, Sorga loka, or there are 7 lokas up and 7 lokas down. And if you have got more pavam, you may go down. Patala loka, Naraga loka. So that means when somebody says, Ushir Pochi Chulitna, Atma is not gone at all. Atma is there. Atma Shanti Adetum Judo. Atma is always Shanti only, ever peace only. So there is no need for Atma to become Shanti. So that's the wrong way of expressing. May his soul rest in peace. May his soul rest in peace. It is already resting in peace only. So if somebody gives you a different explanation that Uttarayana Kalam or Dakshinayana Kalam or Ratri or day or Shukla Bhaksham or Krishna Bhaksham, please do not give any importance to those things, because most of us are worried because my so and so died in the case of Dakshinayana, that too in the night, so he will not get சொர்க்கத்துக்கு போக மாட்டார், நல்ல கதி கிடைக்காது அப்படின்னால நம்ம சொல்லிட்டு இருக்கோம். This is all sort of a loose way of talking, but that is the reason why we should all get jnanam. We should attend to this Gita study. Wherever the Gita classes are there, please attend or read Gita, get the knowledge. Naturally all these things will be clear. There are many people who are worried about these things. Some people will say that man died of car crash, air accident. He was drowned. Now the hurricane is coming, this Biparjoy. So that means there are various methods of dying. It all depends upon our past karmas, punya papam. Punya papam is acquired by us only. If I do good karma in this birth, you will definitely get a better birth next time. Let us not worry about the past. Past is gone. Future is yet to come. So live the life today as it is, in good condition, good this thing, and The goal should be only Bhagavan. There is nothing other than Bhagavan. So if you have this type of attitude, naturally we will not worry about all these things, because there are many people who worry about, oh, what happened to that man who suffered cancer? That man who suffered, he met with an accident, the car accident, and his limbs are broken. He got operated. He is not able to walk. He is not able to stand up. All these things all depend upon one's past karmas. So, which is not visible. That is why it's called adrishta balam. So, when you do any activity, there are two results. One is drishta balam, the other is adrishta balam. Drishta balam, we all see what happens. If I eat food, hunger is appeased. If I am thirsty, I drink water, the thirst is gone. So that is one drishta balam. There are adrishta balam. Suppose I give a charity to a deserving person. Naturally, he is happy, I am also happy, but that gives you punyam. Like a doctor, what happens? He uses the knife for saving a patient. That is punyam. But a murderer using the knife, he gets papa. Same action, but two way of our attitude, mental attitude. So with what attitude we are doing, so that determines whether it is punyam or papam. That is in our control today. So these three shlokas are only giving us, as far as the Thula Sharira, gross body is concerned, never have any thinking that this is going to be shashvatam, permanent. Absolutely not. No. The moment you are born, everything dies. A date of death is there, so that will go. And that is what he says, Ashokyan Anushochastvam Pratya Vadamsta Bhashate Gadasuncha Na Anishochanti Panditaha. No knowledgeable person, Jnani, worries about the death of this body or the birth of this body. So we should all have this Gita Jnanam, Brahma Jnanam, and if once we are totally devoted to Bhagavan, all the time, 24/7 Bhagavan, Ananya Bhakti, that is also given here. And again in the 6th shloka he says, Yam Yam Prapya Smaran Bhavam Chachatyanteham Kalevaram Tam Tamevaiti Kaunteya Tada Matbhava Bhavitaha. So whatever thought you have in your mind, constant thought, that you become. As you think, you become. That is the thing. So with this, we conclude this particular this thing. So the next three shlokas, that is 26, 27, 28, the last three shlokas, we will take it up in the next class. Hari Om. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyase. Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. There was one very interesting point also here, because we were talking about the misnomer